How we doing, reflections? How we doing, family? So today, this video will be about mental contrasting, and this is actually something I learned about. Let me move this a little bit. This is something I whatever. This is something I actually learned about today in my introduction to psychology course, right? And mental contrasting is really about setting goals for yourself in a way that is obtainable. Not to say that any goal is not obtainable, but it's about providing the stepping stones in order to get to that, right? Because if you want to, let's say you want to own a yacht, right? You want to have multiple properties. You're not going to get that in a day. You have to, sorry. It's more feasible, it's more likely that you'll get that goal, you'll achieve that goal if you put in the work daily, right? Because not all of us are just able to go and buy a yacht. Not yet, at least, right? Because we should be thinking of ourselves highly in that manner to be able to obtain that. Because what is a yacht? Well, a yacht is just material, a yacht is just consciousness. So if I place myself within that consciousness, now I have that. I may not have it right now, but quantumly, I'm aligning myself to have that. And so, this is a goal setting technique, and I wrote down some notes and all that, but not too much. This is a goal setting technique that is created through this professor, psychologist professor. I forgot her name because it was some long name, started with the O. The last name started with the O, but she also created this technique called the whoop. The let me see. I got it right here. Let me see. The whoop. All right, so I'm not gonna talk about that method, but basically the method is wish, outcome, obstacles, plan. And it's a good guide to have for yourself, but it's all things that we can do naturally, right? So number one, what goal do you see for yourself? This could be anything that pleases your spirit. If you're going into this trying to please your flesh, if you're saying, "Oh, I want to become this rapper. I want to have all these girls," you know what I'm saying? So I got a message. I want to, you know what I'm saying? Just with material, right? I want to have all this money. Money is the goal, but it's about going beyond that and looking at money as just energy that can be used as a tool, right? So you want something that can please your spirit. And that's my girl texting me. Love you, baby. But so visualizing your goal. Let's say for myself, right? I want to get my master's in psychology. I want to have my own business. I want to be able to travel the world or this realm that we live in physically within the ice walls. I want to be able to go wherever I want to go, right? I don't want to be limited to a certain area. I don't want to retire when I'm 60 and then be able to explore the world. No, I'm doing that right now, right? I'm 21 years old physically, spiritually, I have no age, but the knowledge that I think I have, because I'm wise, but I'm not actually wise because I know nothing, because I'm constantly learning how to be a better person, but not only a better person for Justin, but just a, a better being presently. So for myself, I want, and I see myself having this home in a forest or in a jungle or in a rainforest on this island, and I see myself having clients. Not really, I'm not trying to call it clients, but I am calling it clients, supporters who I talk to, and basically I am paid for my time through whatever hourly rate I charge. And we can talk about anything. We can talk about anything, any topics. But it's about visualizing that goal, where you see yourself, how you look, what does your house look like, what does your car look like, what does your significant other look like, how do they treat you, how do you feel in that moment? Do you see the wind blowing, the breeze blowing through your hair? You see the sun, or right? I mean, we're talking about the physical. Sorry, we're talking about the physical, but you see the sun. The sky looks like it's a beautiful color. You're on the beach. You got a beachfront view, beachfront house. All that. Just really visualizing that and asking yourself, is this benefiting me spiritually? And number two, right? Identifying the obstacles holding you back. So, what is holding you back from getting to that? And that could be, maybe you watch too much TV, maybe you stay in bed too much, maybe you don't get enough exercise, maybe you don't journal enough, maybe you don't read, maybe you don't research enough, maybe you don't drink enough water, maybe you don't use lotion. I don't know. That's a very wild one. You don't have to use lotion, but if you got dry hands and you're just walking around like that, and it's a discomfort to you, then why not get some lotion? Maybe I don't think critically enough. Maybe I don't use common sense. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't know what I'm passionate about. Right? So it's about identifying those obstacles in the first place, and then allowing yourself time and giving back energy to yourself in finding what you're passionate about, finding what pleases you spiritually. Maybe we're getting back onto the first key point, but the second one, finding those obstacles that are stopping you from, I don't want my laptop to turn off, because then the frequencies would stop. But it's about finding those obstacles, those mental barriers within your mindset. Maybe I shouldn't be eating these foods. Maybe I shouldn't be eating out all the time. Whatever. Number three, let me see. What is the most significant obstacle? So, in saying that, what is the biggest thing holding you back, right? So, let's say I want to work out, right? I want to get this good looking body for myself. I want to get a six pack. I want to get, I want veins popping out, whatever. I want tattoos on my body, whatever. So let's say working out, right? I got another message. Let's say I want this body, right? Let's say I want this physical body, I want this certain physique, but I eat out all the time. And I'm eating chicken, I'm going to McDonald's, eating chicken nuggets, I'm eating Whoppers, things like that, right? And I'm just not really taking into consideration of what exactly I'm taking into my temple. And what a lot of people don't realize is exactly how much the things that you eat affect you, because majority of, these are already topics I already covered, but majority of foods have chemicals within it to block not only your third eye, but your third eye's intuition, or your spirit's intuition, into guiding you, your internal compass, basically. But whatever whatever that biggest obstacle is for you, like let's say, right, I want tattoos, but I have a spending habit on eating out. What could I do to limit that eating out? I could go buy groceries and cook at home. I could learn new recipes and save money at the same time, and eat better food and better tasting food. So it's really just about finding what obstacle is holding you back. And it could be a certain way that you think about yourself. You could have lack of confidence in yourself for whatever reason that may be. Maybe you didn't have this not role model, but maybe you didn't have this masculine figure in your life to give you that confidence in yourself. And so it's really about taking care of your temple. And I can speak from personal experience. It's really about just taking care of your temple and wanting, I feel like I'm about to burp. Excuse me. It's really just about wanting that betterment for yourself, because energy doesn't lie. If I want to better for myself, it's going to show on my avatar. I got clear skin, I got facial hair, I got good looking tattoos, got a good head on my shoulders, right? And not only that, but I'm purpose driven and I'm aligned with not only my future self, but my spirit. I'm eating healthy. I don't eat out, as in fast food. I don't eat fast food. I will eat out, but it'll be foods like I'll eat curry, chickpea curry. I will eat. Well, I'm trying to think of what I've eaten recently. I'm recently. Okay, I had pizza from Little Caesars. I had Domino's last night. But it's about being mindful with that. You can still enjoy these things if you want to. But are you fasting? Are you eating salads? Are you drinking water? Or are you constantly consuming? Are you constantly going on YouTube and watching whatever you're scrolling on? Not to say that it's bad to scroll, which it is. Neurologically, it is bad to scroll, because you're training your mind for that instant gratification. We're getting a little off topic, but it's just damaging. It's damaging. You're not seeing how damaging that is to your temple and to your nervous system. And so, number 4, if then plans. And if then plans are a concept from the author, not the author, but the professor. And I wrote this down. Healing through saying no, or healing through being mindful or being aware of the situation. So, out of sight, out of mind is definitely a big factor when it comes to, let's say, you're fasting, or you are trying to stop watching sports, or you're trying to stop watching porn, or you're trying to stop watching, what else? Trying to stop eating fast food. You're trying to stop eating cookies and candy, and you overall just want better, healthier habits for yourself. Sorry. Excuse me. So the if then plans, meaning if I walk into the kitchen and I see a Snicker bar on the table, if that happens, then I'm going to turn around and walk away and grab my cup of water or grab my bottle of water or grab my juice or grab my fruit, grab my vegetables, cook whatever I was going to cook, you know. I'm not going to allow my ego to control my choices, right? And the same thing could be said with marijuana. Same thing could be said with other substances. I don't fuck with that. But I don't fuck with anything outside of weed and shrooms, and I drink a little bit of wine, but not really. Not really. It's like just something that I've recently got into. I've had the opportunity for a minute now, but I never really dived into it just because of what I was raised on and what I've seen through the nature of alcoholism. And yeah. But coming up with these contingency plans before the facts and moving with intention. You know, so if you tell yourself, I'm going to do this fast, I'm going to do this or that, what will I do when I'm faced with this obstacle? What will I do when I'm shown an advertisement of McDonald's? Or what will I do when I'm shown this just programming into a hive mindset? What will I do when this situation occurs? Well, take a step back in those moments, take a deep breath, and just remember and be mindful of what your purpose is and what your intention was and what you told to yourself. And I won't lie, on that point, I told myself I wanted to do 30 days no marijuana, but it's something that I have went back against, and honestly, that's not something I can do anymore. I just can't do that anymore. And I'm saying this to myself as well as you, but I'm really just saying this to myself because I'm only talking to myself. That I'm starting my 30 days today. I'm starting my 30 days today. And I've been purpose driven. I've been just doing things that flow with my spirit. And I feel great. I feel great. I feel amazing. I've been going to the gym. I've been hitting the sauna. I've been getting my sweat on. You know, I've been taking notes, been doing my weekly rewirements and making social connections, or just smiling at strangers, or just allowing situations to come to my observation. And that's really it for this video. You know, this was just another technique into visualizing your future self currently and mental contrasting. So contrasting both sides of the situation. My bad. Both sides of the situation with the thoughts of I could do this, or I could allow my ego to, I could flow my spirit, or I can allow my ego to control my thoughts and control my choices. Right? Because in nature, our ego is a parasite, but that's something that we have to love on and forgive because, sorry, I just heard something, but there have been studies shown, and I don't, I don't have anything on me, but there have been studies shown that when you do this technique, and not only just saying this technique, but techniques that give you delayed gratification, that your happiness skyrockets, your gratitude skyrockets because you are doing something for your future self. And overall, it's just another level of satisfaction because you're pleasing your spirit and you don't have that hole within your spirit, right? It's common sense. But you know what I'm saying? It's just common sense. And I love learning about myself. I'm just rambling now, but that's all I got for this video. I really hope you took something from this video. And that's all. That's it for today. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Really, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for just giving your time because you really didn't have to. I appreciate that for you and I'm grateful for you. Have a great day.